All right, let's talk about an investment portfolio that I guarantee you own, but you will never ever see it on a brokerage statement. In fact, it's probably your most dangerous investment. And today, we're going to drag it out into the light and audit the whole thing.
I want you to picture something with me. Fast forward a bit. The year is 2025. You pull out your phone, you open up your brokerage app, maybe with one eye kind of closed after the last few years, but what you see is actually a surprise, a good one.
Things are looking great. I mean, a sea of green just washes over the screen. The big recovery everyone was hoping for, it's finally here. The S&P 500 is climbing, and you can almost feel this massive collective sigh of relief.
And yet, for so many of us, that feeling of relief just doesn't hit. In fact, looking at all that green almost feels like a cruel joke, like a taunt. Why? Because the most devastating crash you went through didn't happen on Wall Street. It happened inside your own head.
And that brings us to this hidden shadow portfolio that pretty much all of us are managing, whether we know it or not. It's called the regret portfolio. So what is this thing, really? Well, think of it as a collection of all those gut-wrenching, emotionally charged financial moves you've made. You know the ones. The decisions where your rational brain was screaming no, but you did it anyway. This isn't a portfolio built on stocks and bonds. It's built on something way more powerful. Pure, uncut regret. And you can't track this thing like a normal investment. Come on, there's no ticker symbol for regret. You're not going to find it on Bloomberg. Its value? Well, that's measured in sleepless nights, in what-ifs, in that knot in your stomach. And it's all fueled by one of the most powerful and dangerous forces in our minds, self-deception.
So let's do what any good investor should do. It is time to open up the books on this thing and audit these phantom assets. It's time to face them head on.
First step on the books? Oh yeah, we all know this one. It is the FOMO stock, and the ticker symbol really says it all. Should've. This is that stock that got away, or more accurately, the one you chased down long after the party had already started.
And we all know the lie we whisper to ourselves, right? Oh, but this time it's different. It's a whole new paradigm. But the psychological reality? It's just old-fashioned herd behavior and something called recency bias. We see something going up and up and up, and our brain mistakes that recent momentum for a sign of genius. We're not investing, we're just following the crowd, absolutely terrified of being left behind. And the real-world cost of this can be just devastating. The source material for this whole explainer gives this perfect gut punch of an example. A software engineer who literally threw away a sensible, balanced strategy because the noise around a soaring meme stock was just too loud to ignore. The result? A 95% collapse. Ouch.
Okay, let's move on to asset number 2. This one is all about our inability to just let go. We call it the sunken cost, and the ticker is perfect, CLING. This is that investment that's sitting deep in the red, but you just can't bring yourself to hit the sell button.
The lie here is so comforting, isn't it? Hey, it's not a real loss until I sell. It'll come back. It has to come back. But what's really happening is a classic mental trap, the sunk cost fallacy. We get mentally anchored to the price we originally paid, and that number, which is totally irrelevant now, paralyzes us. That money's already gone. Holding on is the same as choosing to reinvest in that bad idea every single day.
All right, this next asset isn't in your brokerage account, it's probably in your bank account, and maybe even your garage. It's the inflationary lifestyle. And the ticker is, you guessed it, dollar keep up. This is all about our spending and our saving, or lack thereof.
So you get that big promotion, right? That nice 30% jump in salary. The lie we tell ourselves sounds so reasonable. I worked for this. I've earned it. This is just my new standard of living. But the reality is a little thing called lifestyle creep. It's this sneaky tendency for our spending to grow to meet, and a lot of the time exceed, our new income. That new car isn't just a reward. Often it's a subconscious race to keep up with our friends or our neighbors. And the real cost isn't just the car payment. It's the future financial freedom you just traded away for it.
And now for the last one, the big one. The most primal, the most destructive asset in this entire toxic portfolio, the panic sell. Ticker symbol FEAR. And if you've been investing for any length of time, you have felt that pit in your stomach during a market crash.
When everything is bleeding red, the lie we tell ourselves feels so incredibly rational. I have to get out now. I have to preserve my capital before it all goes to zero. But the reality is pure, unadulterated loss aversion. Psychologists have actually proven that the emotional pain of losing a dollar hurts about twice as much as the pleasure of gaining a dollar feels good. Think about that. Our brains are literally hardwired to overreact to losses, driving us to sell at the absolute worst possible moment.
So you have FOMO, you have anchoring, comparison, fear. They all feel like completely different mistakes, right? Well, they're not. They all spring from the exact same powerful glitch in our own minds.
So what is the unifying thread here? What is the one thing that connects all of these seemingly separate financial blunders?
The answer is a fancy term called cognitive dissonance. All it means is that our brains hate holding two contradictory ideas at the same time. For example, the belief, I am a smart, rational investor, is in direct conflict with the action, I just YOLO'd my life savings into a meme stock. So to resolve that painful mental stress, do we admit we made a mistake? Nope, that's too hard. Instead, we invent a good reason. We change the story, telling ourselves, no, you don't get it. This time, it's different.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's the why. Now for the big question. How do we fix it? How do you liquidate this toxic portfolio once and for all? Well, let's get into the strategy.
The key is you've got to build a system, a set of simple anti-bias checks that you run before you make any big financial decision. So first, to fight that FOMO, we have the 10-year test. Second, to fight anchoring and the sunk cost fallacy, we're going to use the new money test. And third, to fight our own panicked lizard brain, we've got the 3-day delay.
Let's just zoom in on that second one for a second, the new money test, because it's so incredibly powerful. For that one losing stock that you're just clinging to, ask yourself this brutally simple question. If you sold it right now and you had all that cash sitting in your hand, would you use that cash to buy this exact same stock today, at today's price? If the answer is anything other than an immediate, screaming yes, then you already know what you have to do.
And what about this number? 72. What's this all about? This is your emergency brake. It is your circuit breaker for when the panic sets in. When the market is crashing and you feel that overwhelming primal urge to just sell everything, you impose this one simple rule on yourself, a mandatory 72-hour delay. 3 days, that's it. It just gives your rational brain a fighting chance to catch up with your fear.
And really, that's the whole game, isn't it? The regret portfolio is powerful, yeah, but it's not invincible. Just by understanding it, just by dragging it out into the light like we're doing right now, you start to rob it of its power.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. True financial mastery isn't about finding the next hot stock or being the smartest person in the room. It's about mastering your own self-deception. It's about being brutally honest with yourself about why you're really making a decision. Because that honesty, that's the most valuable and the most profitable hedge fund you will ever own.